Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to episode 8 in our campaign with British Tank Ace. There's been a little bit of a gap, but we are back. Our last mission, episode 7, was a cakewalk. But now things have shifted to a new month, August 1940. Let's see what episode 8 holds in store for us. The calendar rolls into August 1940 as we come into our 8th mission now. A quick recap, our previous 7 missions have actually all been successes. Mission number 7 was a cakewalk, just 2 infantry squads. We dispatched one to quickly end the mission. If we are successful in this mission, that will be 3 successful missions since our last experience point. That means we would have 3 experience points. Saving these up, I think, to get to 4 experience points where we can trade them in to upgrade our gunner, which would be a significant shooting upgrade. Having said that, our big goal is still to get a Matilda tank and get us out of this cruiser Mark 1 A9, which is a bucket of bolts. To do that, we have to destroy 3 tanks and or anti-tank guns in a single mission. That will need a little bit of luck to get that opportunity and pull it off. We also have a full Italian restaurant worth of Italian rations that we found after our previous missions. We'll see if we are successful in this mission, what we get this time. And with that being said, let's start rolling up our mission. The first thing for us to do is to roll for the weather. We are in the February to November chart. Let's see what we get. We get a 10. Ooh, almost a dust storm, but it's not. It's clear weather. And we go from that now to seeing what the terrain will be for this mission. Let's roll on the terrain chart. We get a 9, which is open terrain. So clear weather, open terrain, beautiful day in the North African desert. And now let's see what type of a mission this is. We get a 10, another attack. This mission is the mission that has the potential to have a counterattack at the end of it. So that would give us a chance to get that precious 2nd prestige point. So if things go well, we could potentially have an opportunity to get that. The big roll now, let's see what the enemy force is. We're still on this first chart here. We get an 8, 1 tank and 1 infantry. Let's roll on the Italian tank chart to see what tank we're up against. We get a 5, which is the M1139, the standard Italian tank that we've been going up against in most of these missions. And now let's roll to see what the enemy infantry quality is. We get a 4, which is standard line troops. So we will set this board up now and let's get all the pieces in place. Attack mission, clear weather, open terrain. And we've got our tank and our infantry. I'll roll off camera to see whether they go in positions A, B, or C. The tank will position itself in position A. The infantry is over in C. In an attack mission, the Italian infantry is dug in. So we'll get them holed up here in their defensive positions. There we go. And let's take a look at our tank and see how we are going to start out the mission. We will do our standard layout here. I'm going to be as the commander. I'll be opened and unbuttoned. Everybody else will be buttoned up. We'll go straight ahead. We're loaded with armor-piercing ammo, and then our machine guns are all full up as well. And it is time for us to start the battle. So the attack gets underway, and in an attack mission, the defenders go first. So we will see what they are targeting. As always, we're going to roll for each enemy unit, and if they roll a 1, they fire at us. If they roll anything else, they fire at someone else. Let's start first with the Italian tank. Whew, thought about it, but it's a 2, so firing elsewhere. Let's go now to the Italian infantry, a 3. So neither enemy unit targets us, which means that now we can take an action. Our biggest threat right here is this M1139 tank. I think we want to try to take this out first. Rather than rotate the whole tank and change our facing of the tank here, let's just rotate the turret. And so that will be our first action. To do that, we are going to angle the turret to the left, which means that now we can fire at areas A and D, and the enemy tank under attack doesn't move here. So that's our first action. Now our second action will be to fire at this tank. So with this M1139 in our sights, we're going to open up with our first shot here. It is a long-range shot because we're starting at long range. We'll need a 2 to 5 to hit. There are no die roll modifiers here. We are not buttoned up because I'm open. I've got the huddle open here. So this is a straight up shot. We need a 2 to 5 to hit. Now, Huvian, our gunner, has been on fire in this campaign so far, but he's cooled down of late. Let's see if we can put the threat out on this mission right away here. Oh, is back on fire. I tell you, this game is so easy if you roll really well like this. This is probably the most amazing career I've had in one of these solitaire games where our rolls have just been godly. So we hit the tank, and now we have to see what types of damage we do to it. But it is a pretty deadly shot because our penetration value of our tank here is greater than the armor, because our firepower here is a 5, and the best armor the Italian tank can put up is a 3. Let's roll first to see where we get hit. On a 1 to 2, it's the turret armor. On a 3 to 6, it's the hull armor. We hit the turret, which is actually the second number, the first number, which is still a 3. Doesn't matter, penetration is greater than armor. Now we're going to roll to see what happens on our result table here. We need a 4 or greater. Now, on this chart here, however, range effects on long range is -1. So we're going to subtract 1 from the die roll, get a 7, which turns it into a 6. This is defender eliminated. Bang! We've popped that Italian tank, and it is a flaming wreck. Now, what happens because the tank is wrecked and there's only 1 infantry left, we know by rule that when there's 1 infantry squad left in a defensive position, be it Italian or German, it withdraws from the battle. So this was quick. 1 shot, and the Italians have called it a day here. It was a particularly deadly shot by Huvian. That ends this mission so quickly. Having said that, the thing that we need to do is to roll to see if the Axis counterattack. They will do so on a roll of 6. Yes, they do. This is exactly actually what we wanted. So now it is a defensive mission for us, and we're going to see what the attack force will be that's coming at us. So we are defending the ground that we've gained here. So we'll drop the defend in here. We'll leave that tank there for scenic viewpoints. And whether and everything stays the same, let's see what force is counterattacking us here. We'll roll on the enemy force chart here. Oh, let's get, if we get 2 tanks, or, well, if there's anti-tank guns, I think they don't, I'm not sure what happens. I don't think they show up. If it's we need 2 tanks, which would be, oh man, a 4 would be good. 12. Oh my goodness, look at this. 2 tanks, an anti-tank gun, and 2 infantry. This is a massive counterattack. The first thing that we need to do is to see what type of tank this is. Let's roll. Now both tanks will be the same type. We get a 4, which is the M1139. So we have 2 of those in the action. On an attack mission, the anti-tank gun turns into a self-propelled gun, but there are no Italian self-propelled guns until 1942. So we had that clarified before. That means that just becomes nothing. And then we have to roll for the quality of the infantry. This could matter here. We would like, because they may close to close range at some point, because they're going to be closing in on us. We get a 2 for this, which is good, standard line. So we'll get 2 Italian infantry squads of standard quality here. And now it's up for us, we have to put these in their positions, which is going to be either A, B, or C. I will roll this off camera and then we'll set them up here. So we've got 1 infantry squad off on the left side here, 1 infantry in the center, as well as 1 of the tanks in the center, and then 1 off to the right. Now our turret, I think it stays the same here. It's pointing off to the left towards this infantry. So we'll have to adjust that turret to start out the mission here. And with that, it's time to get started. Now the Japanese word for crisis is kiki, which is a combination of 2 Chinese characters, danger and opportunity. And I feel like as we look at this current situation, that's where we sit. We've got 2 tanks coming at us, either of which could destroy us with 1 hit. But if we can knock both of these tanks out and succeed in this mission, we'll make a die roll to see if we get that valuable 2nd prestige point, which would be the Matilda ticket that we're badly looking for in the future here. And the enemy will be closing in at the end of every combat round, because this is an attack mission for them and a defend mission for us. The range is going to get closer, so it could get deadly quickly. With all these things, let's get started here. So I was thinking about this a little bit here. I think the first thing we want to do is to change our turret facing to face this tank in the front here. So let's do that. Very simply, we're going to take our first action and point our turret towards the center. Now, I was thinking we could take 1 shot here at this tank, but that's an unlikely hit, and then they would automatically fire back at us. So I'd like to start when we can get 2 shots at the enemy tank rather than 1. So we're going to actually, I think, open up on this infantry first, because we can open up with both of our machine gun turrets, the left turret and the right turret, to fire at this and potentially knock it out with 1 round here. I mean, more likely we're going to suppress it and reduce it, but that will still reduce its effectiveness. Alrighty, so let's have David S., our left machine gunner, is going to open up and fire at this infantry. We are buttoned up, so it's a +1 modifier. Machine gun turrets are buttoned up, so a +1 modifier. I need a nice low roll. 7 + 1 is an 8. That is suppressed, which is a start, because a second suppression on this infantry would reduce it by a step, which is kind of what we need. DM Tim opens up with the right machine gun. Oh yes, a 4, which is a step loss plus a suppression. This is excellent shooting by DM Tim, as the first result, the 1 that reduces the step loss. The second suppression, by the rules, creates a second step loss. So a 1+ suppression result on an infantry that's already suppressed results in its elimination. That worked out perfectly well. We've taken out a potential enemy target. They were going to fire back at us, and we haven't put ourselves potentially at risk to this tank opening up on us. That was an excellent start for us. Now, and however, had we gotten that 4 against this tank, we would have destroyed it, but such is life. Now we go to the Italians' turn, and we're going to roll across these 3 units to see if they open fire at us. Again, if it's anything, a 1 means they open fire at us. Anything else means they're choosing other targets or advancing and other things. So let's get this infantry rolling here. The 3, they do not fire at us. However, I think infantry moves forward in a flanking maneuver too. I'll double check that. The second unit is our tank right in front of us here. A 3, excellent, it does not fire at us. And finally, this M1139 off on our right flank. Triple 3s, 3 in a row. This tank, I do know, moves a flanking maneuver around us. Nobody fires at us, which is excellent. It's going to check for the infantry flanking. Yes, infantry flanks us as well. Although it doesn't matter, because we have the same value on the side as we do in the front, and if we get hit, we're dead. So the flanking doesn't really create any kind of a risk for us here. And with that, we have come to the end of the first combat round. It's time for us to roll on the event chart. I'm actually hoping for something rather calm here. An 8, no event. Excellent, good, we'll take that, because we don't need more variables messing up the equation here. And so that finishes the first combat round. Now the battle goes to medium range. Things get slightly more deadly here. Alrighty, so we get our first 2 actions here. We're pointing right at this M1139. It's time for us to see if we can take it out. With our first action, we're going to try a medium range shot at this. We need a 2 to 6 to hit. We are not buttoned up. I'm still open on the top, so I can command the firing here. So we're not buttoned up. No die roll modifiers here. We don't have the previous target one yet. Let's see if Huvian can keep up his firing. Oh, 12. That's not good at all. No, wait. That's a bad thing, isn't it? Oh, no, okay. I thought 12 meant something bad happened. Okay, yeah, no, apparently the 12 is only for the machine gun and high explosive attack chart. So a 12 is just a straight up miss here. However, we do have acquisition now on this target. So we're going to fire again with our second action. And this time we get -1 die roll modifier, so we need a 2 to 7 to hit. Let's put this one away. Yes, a 4, good. -1 is a 3. That is a very effective hit on this one. Our firepower penetration is greater than the frontal armor. Let's see where it hits. A 1 to 2, it hits the turret armor. 3, it does hit the hull. The hull is that second number there, which is a 3, but our firepower penetration is a 5. Let's see if we can finish this one off. At medium range, there are no die roll modifiers in the penetration chart. We get a 10, straight up 10, defender eliminated. Excellent, that's about as good as we could hope for this first round. So 1 tank down, 1 tank to go. We've got 2 tanks. This could be it. But let's go now to the enemy actions here. We're gonna see if they fire at us or fire at something else. Let's check this infantry first. A 3, that's 4 3s in a row that we've rolled here. The M1139 tank, A 5, excellent. They're not looking at us, shooting at other things, which is most excellent. Now, that brings us to the end of this round. Let's roll for an event, hoping again for a 6 to 8. We get a 3. Oh, we get an Axis reinforcement, which is a self-propelled gun. But again, there are no Italian self-propelled guns until 1942. So I believe, again, I'll double check this now, but I believe this means nothing happens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I can't find a specific rule for it, but I'm pretty sure we've had this happen before. That brings us to the end of round 2 then. The enemy closes as the last thing to close range, and the firing is getting nastier now. So with that in mind, we go to our actions first. Now, I think it's going to make the most sense for us to turn our turret to our right to try to take out this M1139. And if we can knock that out, this infantry would withdraw. So let's do that first. So with our first action, we're going to move our turret to the right. And then the question is, do we fire? Because if we fire and miss, the enemy will fire at us for sure because we've engaged with it. This is a big choice. If we delay a round, we could get 2 shots before the next round rather than just 1 shot. Oh, this is a tough choice. Yeah, we're gonna fire. So it's at close range, it's a 2 to 7 chance that it's a hit. There are no die roll modifiers here at all because everything, we're out in the open, the weather's fine, all these elements here. This is huge though, because if we miss, they will get a shot at us with the same percentage of a chance to hit. Now, we could delay, which would mean they'd have to roll a 1 to attack us over here, and then they would get, yeah, I think our best odds are to shoot. We're gonna fire. 2 to 7, and we get a hit. This would do it. Oh my gosh, another 12. Oh, this is bad. So we've engaged it. However, it is going to fire at us with the same, I believe, odds that it's got. Oh, that was not the 12 we needed. Okay, so the first thing we do is we roll on this infantry to see if it engages with us. It needs a 1, gets a 5, it doesn't. The enemy tank here, because we fired at it automatically engages with us, and it has the same firing odds that we've got at it. Okay, this is extraordinarily dangerous. It needs a 2 to 7 to hit. Previous target, none of these die roll modifiers apply to it. If it hits, we're going up in smoke. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. It fires. Oh, yes, it missed us. An 11, most excellent. Now, I think it's acquired us, right? I have to double check to see whether enemy units acquire us as well. But I believe that it has, because it fired at us previously, and it gets the same die roll modifier. But that's the end of that turn. Wow, we were lucky there. That was near death. Okay, so let's roll for this event. A 6, no event. Excellent. Okay, so the range cannot be closed anymore. We're already at close range. And we're pointing off to the side here at this. So we go now to the next round. And this is the moment here. We could get this tank knocked out, which would be absolutely incredible here. And it's time to fire. Now, it is 2 to 7 to hit, however. We're going to get 2 actions here. I have to make sure that I keep track of how much we've fired here, too. So off camera, I'm just kind of tweaking the ammo there. We've got plenty of ammo left. We've got 8 shots still. This should be well over before we run out of armor-piercing ammo here. So previous target is a -1. So instead of a 2 to 7 to hit, we need a 2 to 8 to hit. We get 2 shots at this for both of our actions. Come on, Hoovian, finish it off. Firing once. A 9. Oh, we missed. Okay. So we get 1 more shot. Come on, Hoovian, we need this one. Fire 2. Yes. Double 2s is a 4. We've hit it. And at medium range, the die roll modifier is a +1 on this one. Sorry, close range. The die roll modifier is a +1. Let's see if we hit the turret or the side. We do hit the turret on this one. Penetration is still greater. Let's blow this one up. A 6 +1 is a 7. We've knocked out the tank. Our third target in a very precarious battle. That's gone. That's gone. And now, with only one infantry unit left, this infantry is going to withdraw as by the rules. And we've done it. We've knocked out 3 tanks. This is excellent. This mission comes to an end. Let's wrap this one up. This was a big one. We potentially a huge mission for us here. First up, let's roll for our war trophies, and let's get our Italian rations here. We need an 8. We always roll 8s. Oh, we didn't get an 8. We got a 9. We found a silver medal. So there's our silver medal, something different than Italian rations. We were close to that. That is our first roll. The next thing is we're going to gain our experience. We pick up 2 complete and successful missions for this one. We were 1 away from a successful mission before, which means that we get our 3rd experience point, and we are 1/3 of the way towards our 4th experience point, which will allow us to get that gunnery achievement for one of our gunnery skill there for our gunner, which would be perfect because that's a -1 to every gun die roll with our main gun. So that would be good. Those, however, are the -1s. The next thing that has to happen, and the next thing that is the most important roll that we will make, is a military medal. So we can get a military medal. This one is awarded to the tank commander who destroys or immobilizes 3 enemy vehicles and or anti-tank guns during a single battle. The first award confers 1 prestige point. Only non-commissioned officers, sergeants are eligible for this award. The award number is a 4. And in order to successfully get this award, for it to have been seen and recognized in battle, we roll a single die. And for these, we need a 1d6 that's equal to or greater than the award number in order to actually receive the award. This is huge because this confers a 2nd prestige point and a 2nd prestige level, which are the qualifiers we need for the Matilda, a big day in the life of our cruiser Mark 1 A9 crew. Let's see what we get. Yes! Most excellent! We've got 6, so we got this award. So we've added the military medal, but most importantly, we get a 2nd prestige point and a 2nd prestige level, which means that we qualify for the Matilda. Now, the only catch is the Matilda isn't available until September 1940. So, still, that's good. We'll take a look at the Matilda in the next mission just as kind of a potential foreshadowing to what could come. But that concludes this August 1940 mission, our first one in here. We'll be back for our 2nd August 1940 mission. The goal really will be to survive until September, until we can get into that Matilda, which is a completely different story. We'll take a look at that tank and do our next mission in the next episode. I'll put a link to it as soon as it's ready. Thanks for watching, everybody.